Hello there. Now, this is something of a delayed reaction that I'm actually having in this YouTube video, but I was talking to a friend a little bit earlier who seemed to have trouble with understanding one of the concepts in my vlogs. And this particular vlog was made on December 28th, 2011, last year, and it was talking about what my thoughts were for the new year. And my hopes were that bullying on the school grounds and the public on the internet would simply just stop. And I told people at that time that I wanted anybody who wanted more information about how bullying directly affected my life to contact me and have them contact them directly rather, for more information so they didn't feel comfortable about it. But there is one thing I wanted to make abundantly clear right now. I'm sorry, for some reason I have the itches. Anyway, one of the things that I wanted to bring up, first and foremost, was a story that this particular friend I was talking to earlier showed me about a 15-year-old boy named Larry King in 2008 who asked a classmate in his school to be his Valentine, and that classmate happened to be male. Now, this 15-year-old Larry King was gay, and he also had transsexual tendencies. He came into school with high heels and makeup, partial cross-dressing, and after a time, this boy who Larry had asked to be his Valentine killed Larry. And now Ellen DeGeneres, on her morning talk show, took up the cause of this young person. And she's not political, as she had said in her conversation with people about it, but basically her slogan was being gay is okay. And it is. And I am. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but I am. And that's basically how I put everything in my life. I am. Period. But I am what she said was okay. And that whole situation brings to mind something. Now, this young man, Larry King, felt perfectly comfortable about going to school and admitting to everybody that he was gay. And unfortunately, he paid what is now society's consequence for that. And how do I feel about that? I think that that shows that somewhere in society that some people are just emotionally ill somewhere that we don't know, and they really can't see a way to accept the differences of others and make it part of their lives, even if that difference is not in the minority. And we all know there's an awful lot of homosexual people out there, so we can't just sanction it into a corner. Even Stevie Wonder himself recently said that bigotry is in fact a form of mental illness. It becomes a neurosis, which is ironic because one of the major statements against being gay over the years were that it was in fact a neurosis in and of itself and a very tragic illness, and that's why up until 1974 it was on the AMA's list of psychiatric disorders. Now, how did this all affect my life? I knew I was since I was a young man, going into junior high. Why didn't I just come out to people and try to date men in my class? Well, there were two basic reasons. One of them was that I felt I was just too young for that sort of thing anyway. I was 12. My concerns were more the grades I was making and the friends I knew and, 12-year-old things. I didn't have adult love and physical concerns that would merit me coming out that way. Another reason was that I kind of figured out at that time, hey, there must be a lot of gay people out here. And if that's the case, why is it so important that we have to come out of the closet? Why is it so important we be in the closet? I mean, people don't go into school and say, I'm heterosexual and I'm proud. Well, maybe they do, and maybe they should, but they don't. Why should a homosexual have to come out and say the same thing. It's just not equal. We have to come out, they don't. As a recent episode of Doctor Who that I saw recently quoted, I see it as another problem in our society of what that show called the dislike of the unlike. Or there is me and the other. You know, what is different is treated as something bad. Now, and that's different from you personally, not different from anybody else that might be in the world. And because gay bashing in schools, in public schools, is going on far, 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 far longer than I ever think it should have been going on. It should never have been going on in the first place. But now it's just absurd. I happen to have another belief on that idea of the dislike of the unlike. I'm beginning to wonder, how does one know that all of these school administrators and all of these PTA members who seem to turn a blind eye to situations like Larry King, they may say, well, the student shouldn't murder another and they should be held accountable, but we won't launch an investigation into gay bashing and sexuality-related bullying in our schools and so forth. If that's just, in fact, what people say, a lack of bravery or a fear on their part, or if in fact these people who don't seem to want to admit the truth, if they in fact at one time in their life bullied gay people themselves, not necessarily did anything that would be life-alteringly harmful, but if they were not in fact a victim of our unfortunate tendency to dislike the unlike. I'm not telling anybody they have to have a certain opinion or they have to have an opinion at all. I'm just giving you an idea to think about, because it would be nice to have a future where this didn't have to be the case. I don't think we need another generation who feel the need to hide and live on the outskirts of society and be afraid of others because they feel disliked for being unliked. See you next time.